Hey, welcome. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Thanksgiving 2022. I'm David Sponheim, and hey, this is the beginning of our show. It takes about an hour for me to get set up. Normally, I start my turkey at 10, but it's 10:55, and it took me this long just to kind of wake up, get my coffee in me, and get going. Today, we've got a really big bird, big Thanksgiving dinner. I'm going to show you the turkey. It's coming up here. You'll see it. It's the star attraction. Yeah, I think it's important to realize that, yeah, dinner is served. Check that out. Yeah, it'd be great to just move right in on it, right? Okay. Yeah, this is pre-recorded, so if you're wondering if I'm interacting with the chat, I'm not, just so you know. Today we'll be working with organic ingredients. We've got organic celery. I've got an organic onion here. I don't know if you can read the label, but you know, it's an onion. It's well, you can't see it. And then, of course, organic bread, which is different than most places we've seen. I buy my bread at a wholesaler, so I get it for like $1 a loaf, which is amazing. Normally these loaves would be $5. And we've got that. I'm going to toast. That's the first step in this amazing dinner. Yeah, let me get everything adjusted. Yeah, we got things coming up. I'll put the camera on the screen. There we go. Thanksgiving 2022. There we go, yeah. What's it all about? Why was there such a great Thanksgiving celebration in America? Well, unfortunately, the roots of Thanksgiving are not as pleasant as you might think. We've got issues that are, yeah, hard to even talk about. And if I wanted to post this video on YouTube, I probably would get it kicked off. Simply because, as you know, they don't want anyone to say anything that's not filtered and perfectly acceptable. But Thanksgiving was on the heels of a slaughter of Native American Indians by the settlers in Plymouth, Massachusetts. Yeah, so it's a bittersweet experience for me, being a descendant of the original settlers, to wonder, you know, what did my relatives do? How did they survive? What did they do to hurt those Indians? I don't really think they did anything. My ancestor from that time period was the one who went up and down the coast of New England and all the way up to Canada and mapped the entire coastline. He was my great grandfather, and they settled out there. And to think that they somehow would have killed and slaughtered all these Indians is overwhelming to think about. I'd rather not. So that's why a lot of us kind of think about what we're thankful for this holiday. And I'm thankful I have food, you know. And I'm sure those people were thankful they had food too after they slaughtered the Indians. It seems almost ridiculous that we'd be celebrating a holiday 500 people were killed. And here we are celebrating the bounty of our riches here. Well, we have to obviously reflect back on what has happened and why our country did that, and the kind of people that settled our country. And I think when we ask those questions, it opens up lots more questions. Okay, we're going to start with the toast. We've got the organic 24 grain, full of incredible nutrition. So I'm going to put these in the toaster as my first step today. Nice big slices of organic bread. I'm going to put that in the toaster to get started. I've already toasted a heel slice, so I've got that crackling up. I create my own stuffing because that's much healthier than the store-bought stuffing. Yeah, although I am going to use a bagel, which is, it reached the point where it's just so hard. I'm going to slice it up and crunch it up and toast that up too for flavor. An everything bagel. Yeah, so that's it's reached the time it's in the refrigerator, I think. And I'm going to the food wholesaler again later and recycle this. Yeah, I recycle all plastic bags, and whenever I can, I recycle. So creating a better world for all of us is going to involve lots of recycling. We only recycle 10%. There's a sage. I'm going to bring that out. I got that from my garden. Yeah, we only recycle 10% of all the food or all the plastic waste in the country, which is unfortunate. It really is. There's no reason in the world why we would not care more. And I always see these liberal guys going to the recycler. I rarely ever see conservatives in my area. And I know people who actually say recycling is a total waste of time, blah, blah, blah. Why bother? Well, that's exactly why we only have 10% of our stuff recycled. It's that attitude that I abhor. Now, I don't have that friend in my life right now because, frankly, I don't really want to be around somebody who doesn't care about the environment. That's really the thing that drove me away from him. He actually, consumes tons and tons of things, and he doesn't recycle anything. And it's that mindset that kind of blows me away. It's like, well, how can I even have that person as a friend? It really is a line of demarcation. And when he adamantly said that he doesn't care about the school lunch program, that kind of really pushed me to the edge. I said, if somebody doesn't care about school lunches and they don't want to recycle and they condemn anybody who might be concerned about the environment, that's not a friend of mine. And that's how I feel. I really cannot stand any type of a mindset that could care less about the world that we live in. And we're surrounded by these people. And they always want to make money. They always want to, do really well. They always care about their status. They seem to always care about their position in life and how much money they have. It seems like a fixation. It's unfortunate that America has become a land of greed. And the American people really don't have to be that way. It's not important to acquire a lot of things in life. In the end, we're all going to be 6 feet under, if we're lucky. I don't understand why everyone has to constantly want more and more. And this year, it's especially clear that greed is really challenging the human race. There's nothing more greedy than wanting the world to yourself. And the specter of that level of racialism, the idea that their race is superior to others, has really come to the forefront. I don't think we've ever seen this problem more evident than in the 20s and 30s with the rise of the Nazi power in Germany. And I talk about this every day on the show, that the Nazis are back. It seems pretty obvious. We certainly don't need that mindset. And Thanksgiving is a time when we don't talk about greed, usually. We talk about giving and helping people. But I found out that the Salvation Army was owned by the very same people I'm talking about. The greediest people on earth. I'm going, wait a second, the Salvation Army, they hand out food to people for the holidays. Yeah, but they require you to do a prayer before you eat. No, they require you to do a prayer? I mean, the idea of giving doesn't require a prayer as an entrance to this entire day. I mean, your whole day could be one of appreciation. You don't have to pray. But they do require prayers for people to eat their Thanksgiving dinner, which I think is ridiculous. And they're not even being run by Christians. It's overwhelming. Yes, there is a profit mechanism there. Same with Goodwill Industries. They make a lot of money. Hard to believe, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, leeching money from people's donations is something that people have been doing in all the areas that you'd think charities would, be the ones that are giving the most. Ironically, charities like United Way, they derive 85% of the funds that come in that go into their salaries, and they keep raising their salaries. So the idea of charity begins at home. Charity begins where you give, not your own personal pocket. Unless, of course, you're starting a GoFundMe page after some catastrophe that happens in your life, like having the federal government come in and tell you you're a crisis actor and you have to sign a piece of paper waiving your rights, and therefore the crisis happened. I mean, really? Yeah, don't sign a piece of paper ever unless you have an attorney present to read every single piece of in that document. I would never sign a non-disclosure agreement under any circumstances. Okay, I'm going to slice this bread. And yeah, the nice thing is they're already pre-sliced for you. I'm going to toast up this bagel because I think it's going to be good flavoring. And I'm going to cut it right down the side yet again. And run it through twice. I'll try to fit all the pieces in one toaster. Okay. I just thought that this particular bread would be good as a flavoring agent. There we go. Put this in there. And get it down there, and then put this on top. And this on the side. Okay. Yeah, so what I do normally is take the bread and, well, that's toasting. Let me get this slightly over here. There we go. And I'll just chop this down into little wedges. Now, you can set this out for a couple days after toasting it, or just leave it out in a bowl, and then you get the same breadcrumb effect. But I use the fast method of just toasting and slicing, because in the end it all softens up. But one of the first steps in making a turkey is, and this is one big bird, it was the biggest one in the entire market, is obviously to take the bag off, the outer coverings. I've often wondered why they have this outer covering. Well, it's to carry it, you know, you really, it's a good handle. Otherwise it would be very hard for people to carry. But is that really a problem, you know? Because these things get in the seawater, and if you don't cut them completely up, they can actually trap a bird or a fish. Because as you know, our government isn't doing anything to clean up the plastic waste that's happening all around the world. Yet they say that somehow by joining a world government which is run by the same people that polluted, we're going to somehow clean up the plastic waste when they haven't done anything. It's this design that makes no sense. Why are we creating more plastic waste that could trap animals? I think people could carry this bag just as it is. I mean, really. Now this has been defrosting in the refrigerator for the entire week, so what I did was I put it on top of a cold plate, which is a trick to keep it longer in the refrigerator. If you're wondering how to keep things cold, put it on a cold plate, no matter what you have. If you got like shrimp, put it on a cold plate in the refrigerator and it stays better. Yeah, so today's going to be a pretty exciting stuffing day too. I'm going to be using some sausages and walnuts. No, actually the walnuts are going to go for the sweet potatoes. Sarah's going to make a little later. That's a nice walnut there. And she's going to make a honey glazed sweet potato, maple flavored walnut something. Yeah, see, you want to open these up so they don't trap anything. So even that could go around an albatross's neck and cut it, just to make sure it's not going to trap a bird. Yeah, I've seen pictures of these poor little animals that are in the ocean. Now, because the unethical nature of man has been to kill off everything that it has, and we're going to have to change that trend in life. we can't continue in this pathway, and the idea of a global world government doing that is absurd when they can't even manage anything centrally. I mean, look at Kofi Annan and how he stole all that money from the UN. And look at how the UN had Kurt Waldheim as leader, a known Nazi, for 10 years. So to say that they care about the people on Earth is absurd, or that they're going to care about the environment is equally absurd. That's going to be good in the mix for flavor. Yeah, it's just utterly insane to think that we're going to rely on those people to clean up the environment. Every nation can take its own burden and deal with it, and America could come in with lots of support, environmental cleanup equipment, and as a service to our allies, or to even any country that wants to help us, or wants help, we would actually provide that service. And that would be a much more open plan for environmental cleanup. And it doesn't have to be just our country, it could be all the countries individually cleaning up their own act with that equipment. The equipment has already been developed by Boyan Slat. He's done a very good job of engineering cleanup equipment that can actually clean up. I need a big container. I've got this plastic or metal? I'll go with metal. Pretty good. But rely on a world government to clean up the world when they haven't done anything industrialists have led to this problem? That makes no sense at all. Okay. This typically takes about six to seven loaves of slices of bread. 6 or 7 slices. There you go. Okay. Yeah, it's super easy. Just starting the toasting process and the cutting process. It shouldn't be a stressful event, cooking. And that's one of the reasons why I do it, because I don't really get stressed cooking, except when I'm under pressure. And that's the problem with the cooking show. Yeah, I've done a lot of cooking shows, over 150 of them on my website, David's Kitchen. And I noticed that my hit counter wasn't moving for 10 years. And then recently I made a point of saying there's nobody ever added to my hit counter. And then all of a sudden, like magic, people started subscribing to me. Yeah, it's kind of amazing. It went from being off for 10 years to starting up again. Yeah, you got to wonder, since there's no oversight by companies in the big tech sector, how many people have been cheating and using their power to censor people? That's the big question, and we're going to be asking that question for some time. There's no limit to how many different times that's happened over the past couple of years. I know I've had problems with my other account. There's no doubt about that. And I think when we look at the big picture, what this is giving us is a country that doesn't share information whenever censorship occurs. So we always have to wonder, why are they censoring stuff? Why are they doing that? And the answer is not good. Shared information is no matter what it is better than no information. Now, certainly, we don't want to encourage people telling people things that are just not true if it hurts them. And that could be the case with a lot of things that are happening in the world right now. But who's to decide? And the answer is you. You're supposed to decide. You're the one who decides what's right and wrong in your mind. All of us are that way. Telling somebody that it's the gospel truth and you have to believe it, no. You decide what you want to believe. Every individual does. Okay. So it's just basically a toasting process. We'll go with 2 more pieces of bread. I think all 7 pieces of bread would probably be enough. Although it is a big bird.
Big bird.
Hey Sarah, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
I guess it's morning. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock.
Well, yeah, it's still morning. It's gonna be afternoon.
Yeah. I started at 10. I thought maybe...
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, yeah. I thought I'd be in here at 10, and of course it took me until almost 11 to get started, so...
It's okay. I mean, the nice thing is like the 2 of us, so we're easy going. Yeah.
Now I'm going to get you
I
some...
changed my shirt because people were saying my other brown shirt, I was wearing it for days and days. So I had to change into a different brown shirt.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. You can do whatever you want. You know, people shouldn't have to listen to others tell them what to wear.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Yeah. That's the internet, though.
Yeah.
So.
Everybody's an expert, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to get a couple more. How many sweet potatoes do you want? 4?
Oh, yeah. 4 is perfect.
Okay, I'm going to get Sarah some sweet potatoes. I'll rinse them off with so that it's easier to peel, and then I'm going to give her the peeler if you want to.
I also heard something about peeling with a spoon is good.
Peeling with a spoon?
Yeah, I'll take a spoon. I'm going to try it.
A big, like a tablespoon?
This spoon, yeah.
I've never peeled with a spoon.
I know. I thought it was weird, but I saw it on a cooking show, so I was like, I'm going to try that.
I've never seen a spoon peel anything. Wow. I'm going to go ahead and...
Oh, yeah, look at that.
What? Oh, you're peeling on the side? Really? I don't know, it doesn't seem that efficient to me. Working with a peeler, you have to really watch how sharp the peeler is, too. Okay, so I'll be pulling a couple of this organic celery. I'm going to be pulling a couple of stalks. This dinner calls for a couple of stalks of celery and an onion to start with. I'll probably break into another onion for the green bean casserole, but that's a different part of the dinner. Okay, let's get that down there. Still making the toast. If I can get the bird in by 12:30, 1, then I'll be good.
Good thing we bought other things for lunch.
Yeah.
My sister posted about her sister-in-law did like a charcuterie board for lunch for everybody.
What kind of a board?
It's called charcuterie. It's like olives and meats and cheeses and crackers.
Oh, right, yeah. That's if you have a lot of company over and they want to eat ahead of dinner. That's true. I usually do like potato chips, and I got some cream cheese that is imitation lox. I'll show you what this cream cheese is it's fish-free lox. Cream cheese made out of cashews. I thought it'd be interesting. Because I'm not a big lox person, but that might be good for appetizers.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the thing about the turkey, which is a big part of the dinner, obviously, I gave people a discussion on how Thanksgiving was predicated on the slaughter of Native Americans.
Yeah.
It's hard to realize that, you know, my family were settlers in that area, right where that happened. And I was wondering, gee, were some of my family members involved in that horrible slaughter? I wouldn't know. I don't have any records from that time period. But yeah, it's the whole Thanksgiving holiday is predicated on the history of Native American abuse that went on.
Yeah, you know, the thing is that they used to do, like, so many wars against the Native Americans, and every single battle that they finished, they do a Thanksgiving, they do some kind of feast.
It was a celebration that they killed people, yeah. That's not exactly the best message to send to people. Now, they put these plastic inserts in the in the turkey, and I'm not really sure what the purpose. I mean, I know they can be in the oven.
To just hold the legs together.
Okay, well, I'm going to use skewers, but I don't like cooking in an oven with plastic. So as much as this looks wonderful from the perspective of serving a purpose, it also can create plastic waste that you then have to cut all of the holes, all of the circles that it makes. Because every one of these can be a trap for an innocent creature that's floating in the ocean that gets its head caught in this, and then automatically, well, you know what happens then. So by opening up all the loose ends, you then became, it's a safer plastic waste. Even that's a hole right there. But it seems like we've done a lot of things to add to the convenience of everything. In the process, we've forgotten that animals are trying to live in the ocean, where a lot of this stuff ends up because of the bad policies of our country. Cleaning up plastic. I was telling people how I used to have a friend who told me that, here's the liver, this is in the middle of it. I'm going to get this going on the stove on a hot flame. I'm going to get the neck going down here. What I usually do is I start this on a slow burner right here. And then I'll put the neck, the livers and the neck can go in that plate. This is the heart and the liver. I'm just going to put it right in the plate because it renders down, it adds a lot of flavor to the gravy, and of course the juice from this goes into the stuffing too, so I want to get this going. Usually you want to cook the heart and the liver before you cut it up. I've seen people cut it up first and then cook it. It's a little easier to cut once it's cooking. Yeah, I'm going to just run some water into the middle of the turkey here. And grab that neck out, rinse it off. There we go. And put that in with the giblets. They call them giblets. Okay, now that takes a little bit of onion too, so I'm going to cut a slice of onion off. This onion. Take a portion of that and get that rendering. It just adds flavor to the broth, so that's important. Boy, that light is so intense. I'm going to close it down a little bit. Such a pretty sunny day.
Yay.
Yay. All right, that's a little better. Get that camera. Nice. Wow, that's a pretty industrial camera. It took the hit.
Double check your audio that's going through the computer, because I noticed that when it goes to the camera, it's really staticky.
Okay, let's put it off a different camera just to be on the safe side. I'll gotta go to the Realtek microphone. Sorry about the audio glitch, everybody. That happens. Okay, we're doing the Realtek microphone here. All right. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Man, I just can't get over the camera still working. That's a good camera to survive the fall like that. I'm going to get this going on a level low with a little bit of olive oil in it. About a tablespoon or teaspoon, whatever, just to make sure it doesn't fry too fast. All right, we're going to turn that level up to 3, cover it up, and I'll get the onion on top of that. Action cam. One of the things about doing a show from a kitchen with portable equipment is the setup. You have to have 2 cameras to really do a decent show. And it shows the different angles, of course, but there's nothing enjoyable about doing a cooking show with cameras, and unfortunately, it's kind of a pain in the butt to do the cooking show, and that's why I've been doing it consistently almost every week for the past 3 years, because it shows my effort. It shows my talent and the effort I put in. Not many people can put this level of effort in. And I've been broadcasting since 1971. I was a mere kid when I was in charge of the projectors at the school that I went to, the elementary school. And it's not an easy task to do broadcasting on a daily basis, let alone for 14 years nonstop, like I've done. And this year we're heading to the 15th year, and I'm reaching the point where the daily show, the consistency is still going to be on, because we expanded to a 24/7 show this year due to the attacks against the show. And I told them if they're going to attack my show, I'm going to run 24/7 show broadcast. All right, the celery needs to be cut up, and that goes in with the giblets. So that goes in there. The idea is to get things pre-cooked before with broth, and you add the giblets later to the gravy. That's why I recommend keeping the giblets whole. You can pull them out of the sauce, of the juice that you put into the stuffing. But the celery has to be pre-cooked. Don't put raw celery in a bird. You got to get them at least half cooked, and make sure they're cut about this size. So not too big, so that everything's very edible. Whenever cutting, always bear down, keeping your fingers down straight, and keeping your eye on the knife at all times. All right. And we'll put that on right with the giblets on level 3. Okay, got that going for me, which is nice. And I'm going to cut up some more bread. Got 2 more slices to do, and then we'll be done with the stuffing aspect, the bread part. Yeah, and it's good to get the sage started at this point when you're making your turkey neck. Now, turkey neck will be cooking throughout the whole hour at a boil. So what you want to do is add a little water to it once it starts getting a fry going. That'll help steam it and get you the broth you need, which will be important. Now I'm going to take this hand trimmed sage from the garden and rub my hands together over the pan. Like that. Making sure you don't have any stalks. When I wildcraft this sage, sometimes stalks get in the mix. And depending on how fresh it is, there we go. Any stalks have to come out. We're just going with flavoring right now. Okay, so kind of get that fry going. Doesn't have to be a big pan. It's got to take about a cup and a half of fluid. That's the priority. Okay. Now I'm going to take the turkey out and give it a rinse job. Yeah, they time it so that by the time it is in the refrigerator defrosting, if you buy it a week ahead, you can still do the turkey, which is what I did. But if you go a little longer than a week, you're gonna have, a problem. Turkey can last about a week in the refrigerator after it's defrosted in the refrigerator. So when you go a little longer than that, this looks and smells as fresh as it, was when it was killed, when it gave its life for our dinner. Well, this is a good time to pull out the garlic. I've got some garlic cloves I've got here. Yeah, so a fresh garlic approach is where you're going. Put that little stalky material away. Yeah, so fresh garlic slices going into the turkey. I inject it into the flesh of the turkey. And you take your garlic like that. I think people can hear me okay over there. Yeah, okay. You take your garlic like that, and you get the cloves, and there's a pointed end on the cloves. You don't want to crush this part. Normally I have you crush the garlic, but in this case I just peel it off of the husk of the clove, leaving the clove intact so it doesn't get mushy. Now, some of this garlic can also go in in what I'm cooking on the stove, so that's another added bonus for flavoring. But yeah, I'd say a full head of garlic is, if you want to throw, the more garlic, the better. I'll go grab a few more, but you see these little things right here with their pointed ends? You take a sharp knife, with a good tip on it, and you go right into the breast like this, and then you pull it slightly aside, and then just take that little pointed end when you have the husk off, and just go right in like that. I'm going to actually put 2 in that particular section. But yeah, the clove goes right in, it inserts, and I'm going to go down a little ways down the breast. Let me get a closer view here. A better angle. You go right toward the middle of the breast, and then pull it apart, and then go right down the knife, and slide the flat side down the knife with the pointed side going in. It just pushes right in there, like that. We'll do that down here as well. We'll do the other side. And I'm going to put some more garlic, I think. Now you're watching the show right now. We're probably getting close to eating. So by the time this is recorded and broadcast, this is how we've been able to do the cooking shows for some time. We do them in the morning, and then we upload them to the show. You guys get to watch the cooking aspect of the show, the prep and all that. You kind of just create a little wedges. All you're doing is you're creating little wedges. You go right down in here. Putting more and more garlic in is great. Injecting it right in the... I do the legs too. Okay. And of course, the thighs need garlic as well. So put this one down here. It cooks throughout the whole bird, so the flavoring is extremely good. Already start smelling that sage on the stove. It's coming in. My mother made, probably 45 turkeys in her life for every single, actually probably more like 90, because we used to make turkeys for Christmas and Thanksgiving. She probably made about 60 turkeys in my life, and I made about probably the same number. I picked up where she left off making turkeys. It's one of those. I'm going to go into the side of the bird here with the thigh. Right in there. Injecting the garlic in there, if I can. Just press it right in. With the pointed side going in. It goes into the side of the turkey, helps the flavoring. But my mother didn't love to cook as much as I do. And she oftentimes felt that it was a burden, and it was like too much to put out for people. It is kind of a burden to be the cook in a big family and to bear the responsibility of feeding everybody. And it can be a drag. As much as I love to cook, even that can be a drag. Because I know when people say, I don't like to cook, I don't blame them. I mean, I can see how people can burn out, especially if you're a full-time chef. You really have to enjoy the cooking process, really build your life around it. I didn't want to become a full-time chef because I don't want to burn out. If I was a line chef at a restaurant, I probably wouldn't even want to make dinner. It's like, oh, okay. Burnout. The best part about the holidays is certain items are on sale, like Brussels sprouts. And yesterday I told Sarah we can't really have, I can't have I can buy Brussels sprouts when they're on sale in mass because they stay in the refrigerator. They're great for holding on to food long term. If you're storing things in the refrigerator, Brussels sprouts are the way to go. They're full of vitamins and they stay very well in a dry package. Now we got a full-on steamy boil going on here. I'm going to add some garlic to this for flavoring, for sure. Yeah, the equivalent of almost a head of garlic for the meal. A full bowl, rather. Okay. These I'm going to crush because obviously, I use them in the dish. I don't need to have little pointed ones. I can just crush them and put them in there. That'll be in the gravy and everything.
This is an interesting way to peel sweet potato with this gun.
So you tried it?
Yeah, it works really well. I was going to show people on camera, or you don't need this camera. So you just put it underneath, and then it just work it around.
Never seen that before. It's less likely to hurt yourself. That's for sure.
Yeah, and it can get off, because usually like a regular potato peeler, it only brings out like a little tiny bit, whereas you can get off like a huge chunk with this.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing.
So yeah, that's a way to peel a sweet potato.
Peeling with a potato with a spoon. I didn't know that that's possible. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we learned something today. Different. I'm not sure if anyone's watching parades. I guess the Macy,
Yeah, I was gonna set that up.
well, I don't need to do it. You don't have to worry about
I might do that once I'm done with my sweet potatoes.
it. Okay, I'm just gonna take the minced garlic and throw it right into the boiling turkey neck. Throw that in there. It's going very well. Once you get it to the point where the vegetables are slightly cooked, you can add water. So I'm going to add water to this right now. And bring that up to a full boil. So I'm boiling, steaming, boiling. I'm getting broth is what I'm doing. And I even have some broth from last night. I made some chicken legs. I saved that broth right here. And I'm gonna heat this up and put it in the dish.
Okay, all the sweet potatoes are done.
Oh, thank you. Wow. Okay, you want to use the cutting board? Okay, just give it to me and I'll cut them up.
Just leave them over here till you're ready.
Okay, thank you. All right, Sarah peeled the potatoes. That was pretty fast with a spoon. Impressive. I'm going to cut some more bread. I take 2 slices and cut straight down like this. There's something to be said about a cheap mic and camera. I mean, pretty durable stuff. You don't lose $160 on a camera when you drop it.
Yeah.
The new cameras are really expensive. It went from affordable to really expensive, and then you get this lower end camera. It's still HD, but it's not 100%. Now, making your own stuffing also cuts down on salt and provides a heck of a lot more nutrition when people are eating that stuff. There's nothing less nutritious than bleached white flour, which is what you get with a lot of that. Okay. See, we already got a boil going over here. I'm going to add a little of the broth from last night to this mix. Just set it right in the middle. Let it melt down. By the time it's reaching the top of the container, I can use the broth out of that for my entire meal. I'm saving much of the onion for the bean dish, but about half the onion for the bean dish. Onion's really an important component in cooking. It adds so much flavor. I'm going to add a little bit more onion to the dinner. I'm going to mince it and put it in there. Got to spike the broth with onion flavor. I personally think that the celebration of Thanksgiving is about appreciating what you have in this world, you know. Because obviously they fought the Indians for some purpose, right? Their purpose was to survive, because apparently the Indians obviously posed a threat, at least some of them did, and then the white settlers probably said, you know, we're going to eliminate that threat. We don't want to live around a threat. And that's when the slaughter of Indians occurred. Innocent children, mothers. It was just a horrible slaughter, from what I understand. Later they did take and enslave some of the mothers and children in slavery, but they virtually burned their villages down, and it's just unbelievable. Not a good way to start a country, I'll tell you. It doesn't bode well for America that we started on that basis. It really doesn't. Okay, we're back. This looks like it might fit the turkey. I don't know. So I'm going to I'm going to eye this on, see if I can get the turkey in. This may be too small for the turkey. I'm going to have to go to the bigger one. I have a bigger one. It's just perfect. It fits perfectly, Mom. I'm impressed. You know, I don't know. I didn't really read the label. It's definitely the fattest one in the bunch I could find. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit of onion powder and garlic powder on there. I've got this garlic and herb thing I'm going to put on there. And sage. Now, you don't have to salt the turkey. It comes with a hydrolyzed salt in it that apparently is, salty enough. You can sure taste it when it renders down into the gravy. But I want to get the bottom dusted. I think this one turkey, it's sitting on a rack, so it has a little area underneath there to drain. Normally I turn the turkey over midstream, but this one is just so tight in there, I'm just going to cook it straight up in the entire breast upside down. I mean, the breast up. Normally I cook it breast down and then turn it, but I'm not going to do that. Throw a little sage on here. I'm going to throw a little oregano on there too, like the Italian seasoning I get at Walmart for 99 cents. It's the best deal ever. Pepper too. You can put pepper on it from the back. Well, that's what I was going to do. I was going to adjust the camera. It's a little too bright. Lower the brightness factor. There we go. Okay. This is a roaring boil right here. See this? Roaring boil. All right. Putting the garlic herb on top, the bottom of it, or on the bottom of the top of the bottom. And then I'm going to crush some garlic on top. Some pepper. Whoops. That jar over. Okay, so just put a little pepper on top, on the bottom, on the top of the bottom, underneath the wings. Nice. Some people like eating the skin, so you're really flavoring it for them.
Like Sarah.
You like the skin?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's crispy.
Crispy, yeah, I know. Okay, I'm going to cover that up. And there we go. It's sitting pretty. Seems like it wants to be in there. I couldn't have had a bigger bird and survived. For sure. Okay, we'll do the same with the top of the bird. A little Italian seasoning on it. Put some in the hole there too. I'm going to get some garlic on my hands and kind of rub it. sage, I should say. They used to say you can't have too much sage, but I don't know. That's good. Put some sage inside the hole of the cavern. Stuff the cavity. You see that stalk right there? You don't want that. Coming right along, we're already an hour into this. Amazing. Okay. All right, we got plenty of that going. I'm going to turn that down to a low and just let it cook a little bit on its own. That's the broth. It's ready to go. I remember I added some broth from last night, so it's got good taste and it's set to put into the stuffing. Now the stuffing is going to be a little bit of a challenge. Okay, I'm going to go get my sausages. I'm going to go with the cheddar cheese smoked sausage, no nitrates. And for flavoring, I'm going to use a half of a package or a full package of breakfast sausage. This is typically a dinner sausage. The breakfast sausage is frozen. I'm going to go with this. I'm going to use 3 links. I'm going to rinse those off. Okay. And I'm going to slice them. I'm going to slice them, bifurcate them, like that. Make so the pieces are a little smaller. These sausages are great. They come with a natural casing. If you have a thick casing on the outside of your sausage, you want to get rid of that. Okay. Go ahead and slice nice and small pieces. Now the sausages are pre-cooked, so you don't have to worry too much about cooking them, and they'll work fine in the stuffing in the bird. So. And today I'm going to do something different. Instead of walnuts in the stuffing, I'm going to go with crab meat. I've got 1 can of crab meat I picked up back east, and I'm going to use that. Yeah, I thought the walnuts would be good in the sweet potatoes.
Okay. I'm gonna put, I've got pecans as well.
Oh, you got pecans? Oh, then maybe I will use walnuts in the stuffing with the crab meat. It's going to be a super walnut, a super stuffing. Okay, well, I've got some walnuts I'm going to put in the stuffing then with the crab meat. I'm only going to the crab meat because I want that oyster flavor. But I know you don't like oysters, so. No, I don't need oysters. I'm good. I have these 1 can of crab meat I want to utilize. Only I do that one. Yeah. I think I didn't. Oh, it's down here. Okay. Here it is. I picked up this ocean French crab meat. I'm going to actually add that to the stuffing. I think I am going to pass on the walnuts, though. I'll save them. I think it would be too much. It wouldn't, yeah, it wouldn't go well. Okay, so I'm going to throw this stuffing together here. I'm going to throw the sausages in there on top of the dry wheat. Then I'm going to go over here and pull out the neck.
Hello, what's up?
And then the gizzards. There we go. All right, then I'm going to take a portion of that with eggs. I'm going to add eggs to this. So this stuffing is going to require 4 eggs. Got some nice organic eggs. Wow, even better. I'm really living it up here. So people say, why put the eggs in there? Well, the eggs really act as a binding agent to help your stuffing stick together. And all of this beautiful celery that's already pre-cooked goes in here. So I'm going to take the juice right here, just going to add all the celery to the top here, like that. I'm using a sifter spoon, so it just pulls it right out. I'm going to use a portion of this juice and leave some for the rest of the gravy. Basically, 1.5 cups goes in with 3 or 4 eggs, depending on how big your turkey is. So I'm going to put the eggs in. Making sure I don't put any shells in there. Four eggs. There we go. All right. Okay, and then we're going to open up the can of crab meat. It should create a very exotic taste. Can't wait. Normally I put oysters in there, but you know, the idea is to have something unusual inside the bird. It doesn't have to be, it could be anything. You could have cranberries and walnuts, apples. Applesauce is kind of good. I'm going to go with more of a different theme here. Yeah. Yeah, and then this crab meat has a little paper in it. You got to be careful. There we go. Smells like crab meat. Pretty awesome. It just changes the dimension of the dinner. Shrimp would work too. Okay, I'm almost there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and mix everything up and kind of break the eggs up and kind of mix it up and put about 1.5 cups of broth in there. So it kind of, and then just keep mixing. So you're wetting the bread, mixing with the eggs. There's one ingredient I'd like to add to this dish. I'm going to leave some of that in the pan. What I do is take that moisture right there and then put the gizzard back in. That's right back on the plate. And that continues its work cooking. And I'm going to add probably a little bit more onion in there. Meanwhile, I've got a nice stuffing, but I've got one ingredient down, and that's parsley. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this, and I'll be right back with the parsley from the garden. Okay, so I have a handful of parsley here. I'm going to add to the dinner, the stuffing. And I rinsed it off. go ahead and move that over there, and then I'm going to put the fresh parsley in the, I'm going to mince it up. There we go. Press it together, nice and tight. And then mince it up. Okay. Put that right in the stuffing. Okay, for flavoring. And we're good to go. I think it's moist enough. It's got the egg and everything, kind of compresses in there. It should be good. Okay. Now we fill the bird up. I'm just going to scoop it into the cavity. Okay. Lift the bird up a little bit and then go right in there with it. See how much of the stuffing we can get in there. You don't have to salt this. You can garlic it with, pepper or whatever you want, but really the ingredients that I put in the dish is good. You can definitely put some more sage. So if I wanted to top it off with a little sage in here, certainly do that. The store-bought sage doesn't have the little things that I have for my garden in them, so if you want to buy store-bought sage, that helps. You don't have to have spindly things in there, stems. Okay, going all the way in. They say leave a little room at the top for air when you put it in the bird. But this is one big bird, I'll tell you. I'm going to just push it in. Normally I have enough stuffing to fill up another container too, but this bird is so full. By the time I fill the other side, I should have just enough. Push your thumb in there. It's stuffed. We got a stuffed bird. So some people use apples and walnuts. This is what you're trying to achieve. Okay, and I've got a skewer to close that ending down. We've had these little skewers since the 1940s, before I was even born. My family keeps them around. Little metal skewers. Close the end of the bird. Okay, we're going to take the flaps from both sides and go through one side, and then go through that same side with a second trip, so it double locks down on it. You don't want to stab yourself in the process, though. And then go through that, pull the other skin over, and try to do that same thing through two pieces so it doesn't break open. And then give it a twist like this. That locks in that side right there. Okay. Because I'm not going to turn the bird like I normally do, I can get by with one skewer. Amazing. Now this side has got an opening. Take some of that, my hand, and put it right in there. Good. Okay. All right, we're getting it in there, and then I'm going to go in and pull up one of the skins. Go to the other side. You don't have to go twice through this side, just once. This is the tight end of the bird. And then give it a twist. Like that. Okay. And I do have enough for a little side dish, so I'm going to put a little side dish of stuff in here. Not a big deal. Press it in there. That'll be something I'll pull out of the oven and eat while I'm, getting ready for serving the meal. That can bake right next to the item. Now just pull it out early. You don't want it to be a problem. Okay. Moisture in there to keep it from drying out in the oven. And I'm going to add more water to the turkey, and let's keep cooking that on the stove for the next hour or two. And that'll make the base for that's thoroughly. When the meat's ready to pull off the bone, that's thoroughly ready to. Once it's able to pull off the neck, then you can dice up the giblets and then make the gravy, which you won't see in the show today, but I usually add a little wheat to the dish, or like a Wonder Flour, and make the gravy with that. You can also add, sorry. You can also add potato flakes. That works very well for making gravy. Dried potato flakes. Or you can take an existing container of gravy and add it to that and slowly saute it, and it'll reduce down to, this will actually turn into gravy for dinner. Okay, we're gonna go on to the bean dish. I'm ready to go with the turkey. I'm gonna preheat the oven. Okay, I'm starting the oven. Run it at 350. And I guess I'm ready to cover that turkey up. Look at that. Throw a little bit more spices on the outside of it. It's got the little tab that supposed to pop out when it's fully cooked. But this really has to get in the oven by 12:30 if you want to eat by 4:30 or 4 o'clock. Let's see if I can get this thing to sit. Come on, baby. Okay, that's about as tight as it gets. A little room to breathe. I'm just going to go ahead and put it in the oven, even though I'm preheating the oven. And we'll leave some room for the stuffing on the side, which I'll eat earlier. Okay. Wow. Electric oven, clean heat. Okay, so we're going to do the bean dish, which is the next step. And then Sarah can come in and help with the sweet potatoes. Okay, today I bought some non-GMO French-style beans. I bought on sale. Non-GMO. Del Monte makes these. Pretty good product. You can also go with frozen ones. And I picked up an amazing deal on mushrooms. I got this cream of mushroom fat-free. Normally $1.99, I got it for 45 cents. Big discount. Yeah, it's really a big deal. She was like, how did you get 2 cans for $1? It's like, well, looking around, getting good deals, you know. We'll get a canister to put that in. I do have some frozen beans I'm going to add to this dish. Got some organic cut green beans as well. Yeah, I figured I might as well. It doesn't hurt. They're like frozen. Rock solid. I'll put those down at the base of the container. Let me make sure this is old Corel ware. Really nice stuff. This has been in my family since before I was born too, this container. We'll just put the frozen at the bottom, I guess. That's a brick. Literally a brick. I'm gonna break it up. Okay. The beans have hit the floor. Rinse them off. Good. Okay, that's going to be an interesting thing. Then I'm going to take the I'm going to dice an onion into this dish, and I picked up some mushrooms. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take another pan like this one right here. Make sure it's clean. Looks good. I'm going to put this on the front burner and the other one on the back burner. I'm just going to rotate over here. Put that back there, and I'm going to get this going on the front burner because I want to start a little onion and stir with the beans. We get onions and mushrooms going. And give those a pre-cook with some butter to make this thing come together and rock. Come together and rock. I won't need any onions for the sweet potatoes. So I don't need to keep any more of this onion. I'm just going to use it. Put it right there. Nice tight little piece of onion. Okay, getting the pan hot. I'm going to put some butter down. And if you use salted butter, there's your salt right there, so you don't need to add more salt. And the beans have salt in them. So I'm going to put a pat of butter down, nice big pat here. Put that on the stove, like that. Great. Get that hot. Come around. I'm just going to put the onions on top. Okay, and then I'm going to pull the mushrooms. Put the mushrooms in there. Yeah, everything's going up in price. I've got, this used to be like $2.50 last year, organic mushrooms. It's now $3.79. $2.50 to $3.79 in 1 year. Yeah, whatever. You know, at least I'm getting organic mushrooms, right? Pretty cool. I'll go ahead and put as many as I can in there, saving some for another meal maybe. There we go. Should do me. Save that in the container and just kind of cover it up. So these things will get old if they don't have a cover over them. So it's best to have them covered. All right.
those off in the sink, even though they are organic. They're grown in chicken manure, so it's probably best to, rinse them off whenever you get a chance. Okay. We'll take the mushrooms and slice them up. If you're enjoying the show, I will play it over again, so you can watch the repeat. I like to go with just a simple slice, not a lot of slices. Just each mushroom I cut into like 3 pieces. Okay. So you get the big chunks in there. I like the chunks of mushrooms. Really get the flavor burst. Everyone loves this bean dish. It's so popular, and we do have onion rings, of course. Maybe 4 pieces out of each mushroom. Okay, we're almost done there. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, that goes in there. Put it right in with the beans. I'm going to save some of them for the upper layer. Just put 1 layer down, and I'm going to open up 2 cans of the Demani. The thing about the stuffing and the bean dish is everybody wants more. There's always. Whoop, sorry. I guess you got to see my feet there. That's kind of nice. Yeah, so I do cook barefoot, in case you're wondering. It's my Native American ancestry. I have a very small amount. You see, the reason why I don't believe that my family hurt the Indians is because right around that same time period, right after the slaughter in the 1700s, one of my family members married an Native American woman. So that's why I don't believe that my family was involved in this terrible slaughter that happened. Yeah, so one of my ancestors is an Algonquin Indian. I'm going to drain the water after that. And I've talked about this in the show before, but you don't have to rinse these. They're ready to go. Unless you want to really reduce salt, because there is some salt in here. Let's see. Total salt. 80. Oh my gosh, there's like 1,000 milligrams of salt. I'm going to rinse. Yeah, 1,000 milligrams of salt in each one. Okay, that means that the oven is cooking. Yeah, I'm going to give those a little rinse. Should I water the plants with them? A little bean juice. Would the plants like to have some Thanksgiving dinner? Ask the plants if they want Thanksgiving dinner. Oh, well, I was gonna saute the mushrooms. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Put the mushrooms. Yeah, I'm pulling the mushrooms out of the beans and putting them in the saute. Nice going, Dave. I got ahead of myself. Oh man, I've been doing this too long. This has got to be my 50th turkey. I don't think it'll hurt if there's a few raw ones in there. Okay, so I'm gonna get this going on a full tilt. I'm gonna put that level 3 or level 6 and just kind of quick cook it right in here. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna throw the beans in on top of this. There you go. Yeah, I want to get a quick cook on those mushrooms just to make sure they're ready. Put a little butter on. Yeah, give it a quick saute. Mix this together so everything kind of sets down in the dish. So put a little onion powder on there or garlic powder. And that's unsalted too. I purposely get unsalted stuff because I'm salt sensitive. If I have if I eat a full meal of salted food, I will feel like crap the next morning. I have to do everything I can to minimize my salt intake. Being I'm salt sensitive, which is 25% of the population is salt sensitive. Which means that anybody who is eating a lot of salt could trigger high blood pressure. You don't want that. I'm just going to do a quick stir fry on this. Kind of glaze them a little bit. And what I do is I add garlic to that mix, so it really kind of punches the flavor forward. I'm going to go ahead and add a couple cloves to that mushroom mix that I have right there. You're wondering, well, all this prep, Dave, I mean, boy, they sure work. There are women that work nonstop in the kitchen the whole Thanksgiving day right now. And there are women right now, and I'm not saying it because it's a sexist thing. I'm saying, for the most part, women are the cooks in those families, for whatever reason. And being I like to cook, I basically like bearing the burden. But I can imagine how a woman who does a complete Thanksgiving dinner for everybody and cleanup as well would be completely exhausted at the end of their day. Because it is like hands-on. You could work all day long making things. You're going to put that with the mushroom saute. And just give it a little garlic flavoring as you glaze the mushrooms. Okay. And we'll pop open that can of cream of mushroom soup, which is the good thing about cream of mushroom soup in this can. It does not have any MSG in it, whereas typically cream of mushroom soup does have MSG in it. That's why I was excited to get these deals. They were like, whoa, really? Okay. And that too has salt in it, so that's why I pulled some of the salt down on the beans. I might use both cans. Yeah, I think I might. See what the salt is. No. If I use both cans, it's too much, so. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little to the sauteed mushrooms, which are ready to go. I'm going to add the can to this right here. Then I'm going to take milk, whole milk, and put it in there. I've got some whole milk here, the O brand. I'm going to half a can it. This is a great way to shake it up. Add that right to the dish. Mix the mushrooms in with it. Just going to try to bring the temperature up a little bit, and I'm going to pour it right on top of the beans. Okay, hi. So I picked up the onion rings, and we got these on sale 2 years ago, and they're still good. I've actually tried them. They're actually still good. They stay pretty well, the French's onion rings. They held up 2 years. We bought them on sale for $1.49. So pretty good deal, yeah. All right, this is the next step on the bean dish. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to put a little in the beans. So, yeah, when you get the bean dish ready, you just put a little bit in there. Some people just put them on top, but I find that they're better, more flavorsome when they're a little bit nested inside too. Okay, so we can put that in there. And then we'll take the mushroom soup with the mushrooms spiked in it and all the goodies, and we're going to go ahead and pour that on top. There you go. And that, see, that has enough juice in it to cover everything without adding too much salt. Because if I put 2 cans in there, it would be too much. And kind of give it a little poke. But for the most part, it settles right into the meal, and it's fantastic. I'm going to put a little more milk at the bottom of that. Get the most out of it. Okay. And then just cover it right up. Beautiful. Okay. And then cover it with the onion rings, all the onion rings, cover it right up, like that. You've got some more onion rings, I'll save enough in the container to eat as a snack. Sarah likes this stuff so much, she actually gets the, another bag she actually buys just to have the snack food. Yeah. Okay, and that covers up with the top. And that goes right in next to the turkey. Okay. The traditional Corel dish that I cooked the turkey. Okay, that's nice and hot. Okay, you should be good to go, and I'll just pull that stuffing out. Sarah's going to cook the sweet potatoes. I'm going to help her with that in just a second. Okay, so I got my instructions from Sarah, and I'm going to go ahead and pre-cut the potatoes, and pre-boil them. So go ahead and put those on the red board. And I'm going to dice them. I've got the pan cooking here. I'm going to get some water going. Just to steam them. Kind of give it a little pre-steam. Yeah, I asked her if she pre-boils them, and she does. So I'm going to go ahead and cut them in half now that she peeled them. These are sweet potatoes. You can use yams too. We're going to cube them out. And cubing them out is actually the way to go. Okay. I cut them into like long wedges and then turn them sideways. And then we'll slice them. Kind of like 1-inch chunks. Out of the water. Do a little steaming action. I'm going to run that at level 3 for just long enough to kind of pre-steam everything. Not overcook it, just kind of like really light steam. Now I'm wondering if pear sauce would be good in here for flavoring, for sweetness, you know, because we've got all these pears from our tree that might be perfect for that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get those down on a hot. I'm going to put it at level 6 just to quick steam this with just about a 1/2 inch of water. I haven't pulled out my pears in a long time. We had a massive pear production harvest this past year, and some things happened that were kind of weird. This is pears that I kept from. This is a year old pear that I put vodka on. Keep it protected. So looks good. It's got that little hint of vodka in there. If you want to store pears in the refrigerator, put about a half of an ounce of vodka on top, and it keeps it perfect. I think we might just spike the sweet potatoes with vodka. Possibility. Yeah. But I'll have Sarah decide on that. She's going to use her own sugars. We got honey. But I kind of want to pull the layer off of this, kind of take a little of it out of there, because it's just been sitting there in the refrigerator for a year. But this year's harvest was not as great. And half of the pears were eaten by a local raccoon family. And unfortunately, the raccoon family got so rambunctious that they decided to eat my mystery frog. Yeah, so my mystery frog was eaten by the raccoons. I had that sad news to share with you. Yeah, unfortunate. Came as a tragic reminder of the nature of the world that we live in. It's a dog eat dog world, but in this case, it's a raccoon eat frog world. And my mystery frog was missing. After the raccoons got to the pears, they decided to have an after dinner treat with the frog. Apparently he wasn't aware of them, and it was nighttime, and they grabbed the frog in its nesting place and killed it. And sadly, I'll never know what it looked like. Yeah, it's kind of a bittersweet reality that, you know, it lived in my pond for 7 years and then was eaten. So I guess the moral of the story is have a better fence around your pear tree, because they got in. Yeah, it's life, you know. I think he had a good life, 7 years. That's not bad. And he was dining on my fish, so in a way the fish are all thankful because they didn't have to be eaten by the frog. I'm sure he was eating the fish. Why not? Ridiculous. Okay, I'm just steaming this up right now on a high temperature. Yeah, we want to get this steam going, and I've got the gravy broth going in the back. See that right over here? So you've got the neck and the giblets cooking in broth. And I'm going to add a little garlic to that as it's cooking. It's going to be cooking for a while. And I'm probably going to add a little more broth to it. More liquid. That way I get a really good chicken broth base for my gravy. Okay. I'll have Sarah pull from inside the pear so that it won't reach the outside. You know, the outside is where the vodka is. And when I covered it with that, I ended up making a pretty amazing mash. Sarah had actually peeled all the pears that year. We just spent forever because we had buckets of these pears. I think this year's harvest was equivalent to one of these filled. The previous year was 3 of these things filled. So I think the fertilizer we put down initially kind of kicked in and produced the pears. So we were overwhelmed with pears. And then I think when I got one full of these, I probably had a half of another one that the raccoons ate. But yeah. I saw them outside one night. I was like looking through the window at 2 in the morning. and they'd come back for more pears. And I noticed this mother and a little baby raccoon were rummaging around my pond, lifting up all the driftwood and trying to find more frogs. So I'm 100% sure that they ate my frog. Because I had raised it from a tadpole, literally. And they're hard to find, these tadpoles, because they come in the feeder. When you buy goldfish, they're like 10 cents a piece, and sometimes you get a tadpole in there. It was kind of a bittersweet loss. Yeah, I'm just going to turn that down. Once I have it to a full boil, I'm going to turn it off and let it set in its own heat. Meanwhile, I'm running the back burner at like a low simmer. And Sarah will come in and kind of finalize the show for all of you, and you should be ready to go. She's going to bring in pecans. Yeah. Now, I also made pear liqueur. I made pear wine. Not yet that year. I have a bottle of pear wine here that's maturing in the refrigerator. Has a nice, robust, it's kind of like a Chablis. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I leave the top loose so it doesn't, compress out, but it's slowly fermenting in the refrigerator. And the pear liqueur I have here is a mix that I made from a pear mash. It's due for me to add to it, so I'll take the time to do that right now. Here's the pear mash that's been sitting in the refrigerator. And this has vodka in it, so let's take a look and see everything's copacetic. Yeah, looks fine. It's got a nice, rich vodka smell to it. Yeah, I'm going to do a little pear wine or pear liqueur transfer. This is an ancient Austrian recipe of pear liqueur that I pulled out of the annals of history. Here we go. Not sure what that is. Wipe it off a little bit. So I hope you're all enjoying your holidays. I talked to some guy. He said, "Yeah, I'm going to have 2 hot dogs and a hot pocket for Thanksgiving." Like, wow, you're really going all out. 2 hot pockets, 2 hot dogs and a hot pocket. Wow. Man, that's intense. You can smell the aroma. It's time. I'm going to filter a little bit of this in there. This mash has been sitting for, years, a year now. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the filter here, making sure I don't get any lumps in there. Okay. The draining of the pear mash. And it has vodka in it, so it's a perfect preservative. I went and bought vodka just for that purpose. Covering it up, and then I take filtered water and add to the mash. Cover it up. Give it a mix, and put it back in the refrigerator for next year. Amazing, isn't it? Yeah, I never thought I'd be making pear liqueur, and I believe me, I don't drink, so recognize the need to make something for the future in case I ever do want to drink, you know? They say there's nothing better than alcohol to kill the pain. See, I even have I have beer down in the refrigerator here that I never get to. Here's a little beer that I haven't had in years. The Purist. New Belgium Clean Lager Organic. I have a 6-pack of this, and I just keep this in the refrigerator in case anyone wants a beer. I've got collectible beer down here that somebody said, "Oh man, you got to drink that. It's collectible." And some of them are award-winning. Now, you know, I think beer in glass, sitting long time, it's not going to go bad. Yes, it loses its freshness. If you got an IPA, you'll lose that crispness, but you can still cook with it and you can still drink it. And it still has alcohol in it. So these ideas that you have to have things fresh. With alcohol, you don't need it fresh. It stays, it's a preservative. It's fantastic. It holds on to the strength of things. Okay, I'm going to have Sarah come in and she can finish off this meal. Oh, you're in there. Okay.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah, I pre-steamed them, and you can just shovel out of there with the perforated spoon. I'll give it to you. There it is. And you know how you're going to make it. And I brought some pear mash out. I thought that might be good as a sweetener. It's got vodka in it, so.
I want to taste it to make sure it's not burned or something.
Oh, yeah. It hasn't. I pull in from the side and go down the side here. Right there. You may enjoy the vodka brew. This still has sugars, right? No? Spit it out. It's okay. Go ahead. Spit it out. She's going to spit it out. It's gone. She can't handle the vodka taste. So we won't use that in the dinner. Let me try it. Man, I'm getting a buzz just thinking about it. Okay, that goes back in the refrigerator for survival. She's got all kinds of good sweet stuff. You don't need the pear mash. Thank you, sir. There's no need for that. She's rinsing her mouth out right now. Okay. Sorry you had to endure that.
Well, that's why I tasted it, so.
Yeah, it wouldn't add to the.
Yeah.
It's not going to add to the flavor of the dinner.
Yeah, I'm going to, let me go get my comments.
Okay. She's going to make her favorite sweet potato pecan mash. Pecan sweet potato. And then we'll wrap this entire dinner up. Sarah bought pumpkin pies today, or yesterday. She actually picked them up from school, so we're going to have pre-made pumpkin pie, which saves a lot of hassle, because pumpkins would be a whole other layer to this dinner. We might top out at 2 hours here. I told everybody I'd start the show at 1-ish, so we'll just repeat this show on iVlog and then broadcast it. There you go.
Organic pecans, and then I'm gonna do some.
You need to break those up too in a bag?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, I'll give you the mallet. And here's a
Honey crisp apple juice.
oh, perfect. That's gonna be great. And here's the apple. You can put the pecans in the bag. Cool.
Alright, I'll do that first and then so that those can pick up a little bit more.
Okay. I'll be your cameraman. So she's gonna put them in another bag so we can break them up with a mallet. Because if you put them in their hole, they tend to be a little bit too.
Too big.
Yeah.
I put in a few. I'll top them with a few full ones.
Let me hold that for you. you don't want to get into your private stash of pecans. That would be too good. Do you want to add some walnuts to it?
No, either way.
Put some walnuts in there. There we go. Thank you. This is my private stash. I think I have an open one.
No, sure. That's perfect.
Thank you. We get this limited edition Honey Crisp applesauce or apple juice in our area, which is kind of nice. Yeah, you can take and just shovel them out, or I can drain the water if you want. Let me drain the water. Cool. All right.
That looks good.
Yeah, they got pre-cooked. That way they're not too hard when they go in the oven, otherwise they may not get cooked. This way they mash up on their
Should I
own.
mash them or?
I don't know, it's up to you. I think they
They look pretty good.
they mash over with time, yeah, they break down.
Yeah, if you're gonna do any more cooking in the oven, I think they're
Yeah, you want any maple syrup at all?
good. Sure, ooh, that would be good.
Okay. We'll go with maple syrup instead of the vodka pear mash. Here,
Yeah, that looks weird.
I'll put this in. A couple tablespoons.
Yeah. Perfect.
There you go, for flavoring.
Oh, that's.
Nice. And you can kind of push them down with that if you want. So Sarah's wearing her nice Thanksgiving colors. And I've gone with a traditional white cotton shirt for today's dressing requirements. You want any butter in there?
Sure, if you want.
Okay. I think butter makes it extra tasty.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to slice off some pats of butter here for you.
That's really good.
Maybe 3 pats would be good. Okay. You put the Honey Crisp down on top of it? Or?
Yeah, just pour it on top and then it'll like soak in.
Okay. All right, good. We'll put that right in the oven with the turkey. Unfiltered, raw, Honey Crisp. Yeah, the apple flavoring really makes it all come together. What
Yeah,
about a
in the
cinnamon
past I've
topper?
done that. Ooh, cinnamon would be really good.
Yeah, there you go.
One year I did pineapple juice. If you don't have honey, apple juice, pineapple, and I did like apricot slices.
Nice. Well, this would be great. That's organic sweet potatoes, organic pecans.
This is a way to not do all the sugar stuff.
Yeah.
Like a little lower sugar. The
Natural
apple
sugar.
juice has that natural sugar.
Okay.
Well, that can just like be like half an hour before the turkey's done, I think.
Yep, okay, I'll put it in with the turkey.
Yeah, or even half an hour before it's done.
Well, I'm gonna put it into here.
Just scooping it all around.
There we go.
Cool. All right.
We're good to go.
Could do candied pecans or something, but
Well, this tastes like
you
candy.
probably want some pecans.
No,
so.
this is your personal stash. I'm good. We both love nuts so much that we have to give each other separate stashes. Otherwise, I'll finish them all. And
That's true. I always said that when I had more money, I'd buy more nuts.
Yeah.
And now I have more money, so I buy more nuts.
exactly. All right, everyone. Thank you for coming into the show, and we'll be on repeat, of course. You got to watch this whole thing over again.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. We'll start our regular show in just a few minutes. Mr. Wright signing off. Another great show. Take care, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving.